People use ice boxes to keep drinks and food cold. Make a shopping list in order not to spend too much money. John had been saving his money for a long time. He went to the bank in order to open a bank account. To get a driver's license, you should pass several tests. My mom was angry to see my room in a mess. We were happy to get a discount on the movie tickets. Kelly was sad to lose her purse on the street. John was the first to finish the question on the board. He must be clever to solve that difficult problem. My sister was careless about breaking the dishes again. Mark warned Nancy not to trespass. She was foolish not to listen to his advice. The cause of the problem was difficult to find. Bad habits are easy to make, but hard to break. Sharp knives are dangerous for kids to use. These boxes are too heavy to carry. Chimpanzees are smart enough to use tools. James tried to tell me about his day. He spoke too quickly for me to understand. 3 days is long enough for visitors to look around the city. To tell the truth, the movie wasn't that good. To begin with, let me thank everybody here. Taking notes, we listened to the teacher's explanation. Sitting at the window, she appreciated the scenery outside. Mary had had one of the best days she could imagine. She lay awake, recalling the events of the day. Entering the hotel room, we unpacked our luggage. The train left Manchester at 9 o'clock, arriving in London at 12. Reaching the top of the mountain, we took a photograph. I fell asleep watching television. Amy just arrived in Canada. Being a foreigner, she needs a visa to stay here. Don't expect different results doing the same thing over and over again. Jack's mother is very kind to him. Wishing to encourage her son, she made a special dinner. Not knowing their language, I couldn't help the lost foreign visitors. Observed from outer space, the earth appears blue. Drawn by a famous painter, the picture was sold at a high price. Not chosen as the president of our class, I was disappointed. Borrowed from the library, this novel has to be returned. It is a pity that you missed the beginning of the concert. Is it true that you are moving away next week? No, that rumor is false. The astronomer said people would live on other planets someday. My boss asked when I was returning to my job. I told her I would come back to work this Friday. I hope this new year will bring you better luck. Remember, sometimes silence is the best answer. The secretary phoned Paul and me this morning. Her contact reminded us we had an appointment. History shows us language and communication evolve through time. Your problem is that you think too much. My wish is that I get a new smartphone on my birthday. Whether he will pass the exam is not certain yet. It is not certain yet whether he will pass the exam. It is not certain yet if he will pass the exam. Whether or not yawning is passed from person to person is not clear. It doesn't matter whether you succeed or fail. The attempt is valuable. It doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. The attempt is valuable. With a lie detector, you can see whether someone is lying. With a lie detector, you can see if someone is lying. He asked me whether I could share my thoughts on the problem. He asked me if I could share my thoughts on the problem. Going on a school trip depends on whether it rains or not. The question is whether there is life on Mars. The problem is whether I can finish the assignment on time. Why dinosaurs became extinct is still unclear. Do you know what the name of this flower is? I think it's called tiger lily. How people treat you tells you about them. Someone asked me what LOL stood for. I said it means laugh out loud. I was wondering where you bought that shirt. It's really nice. Oh, really? Yeah, I actually bought it on the internet just last week. Scientists discovered what causes cancer. Who made the sculpture is still unknown. Let's choose which of us will bring a tent on the trip. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. The question was how long the battery would last. Can you guess how much water we should drink every day? I don't know, but I don't think I drink enough. How hard it is to climb Everest is beyond your imagination. Find out how often the information is updated. The number of growth rings shows how old the tree is. We are discussing what kind of cat we will raise. The main thing is whose name comes first on our team report. Which major you choose can affect your future. What do you think the answer is? I think the answer is B. It makes the most sense. How do you believe the increasing population will affect society? I think it will impact the way we use our resources. Where do you suppose the best place for a date is? A romantic dinner at home is always nice. I met a professor who gave a lecture on literature. To reduce acne, choose products which are oil-free. Helen Keller was a great woman who got over many difficulties. Honey is a food which doesn't spoil. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work. The bus that goes to the shopping centre runs every half hour. The river which flows through the two cities is polluted. The students who were absent from class were not allowed to participate in the activity. I ran into an old friend who I missed for years. Basketball is the sport which I like most. I gave James a present. The shoes that I bought him were on sale. After graduation, I visited a teacher who I admired. The pill that I took last night made me sleepy. Mary always gets the answer right. She is the best student who I have taught English. I found an interesting book that I wanted to read. Paul phoned me to say thank you. He is the customer to whom I sent a discount coupon. The store didn't have the jeans that I wished to buy. I found the earbuds I lost yesterday. The food you eat can be a powerful form of medicine. Having someone you can trust completely is a great thing. A person whose spouse is a smoker may have a greater risk of lung cancer. I apologize to the woman whose coffee I spilled. A strawberry is a unique fruit whose seeds grow on the outside. The movie whose plot I didn't understand was a great hit. That's the girl with whom I'm in love. Don't talk about things that you know nothing of. The jungle in which the tribe lived was full of strange plants. The mind is the root from which all things grow. Dinner is quality time when families can have a conversation. The library is an interesting place where students can find hidden treasures. This book gives reasons why the Roman Empire failed. Spring is when everything starts growing. Is this where you often hang out with your friends? Yes, we like to meet here every other day. Can you tell me why you didn't call me yesterday? I was very sick, so I didn't get up. The day Korea became independent was August 15, 1945. One of the reasons you can get a cold is lack of vitamin C. The cook never tells how he makes his special sauce. The cook never tells the way he makes his special sauce. Do you know a way I can make friends easily? Say hello to others first, and be nice to everyone. It's important to know how you manage the stress in your life. I finished reading the books which I borrowed from the library. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci, who was also an engineer and inventor. The teacher scolded my son, who was caught cheating during his finals. I miss my parents, whom I haven't seen for months. Last night, I bought new clothes which I don't like now. I walk to school with a friend called Anne, whose house is next door to mine. The climbers who reached the top of the mountain were exhausted. Deserts are getting bigger, which means that the land for farming is decreasing. I wanted to finish my homework by yesterday, which was impossible. April 1st is called April Fool's Day, when people play jokes on each other. In my house there is a small bedroom where I placed a twin bed. Jim is my brother. What I like most about him is his sense of humor. The axe forgets what the tree remembers. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. I'll order pizza when my brother comes home. Make hay while the sun shines. I haven't seen my aunt since I became a middle school student. As you walk in the park, you can also enjoy the view. Boil the potatoes until they are soft. On the weekend, I don't get up as soon as I wake up. Bees won't attack you if you don't move. Unless you try, you will miss the opportunity. I can't make my favorite sandwich because we are out of eggs. Dreaming about pigs is a lucky sign in Korea, since they represent wealth. As she is an only child, she sometimes feels lonely. Teachers use hand gestures so that they can get more attention from students. Peter drank extremely hot tea so that he burnt his tongue. Anne is forgetful. She puts name tags on her things so she won't lose them. It snowed a lot yesterday, so the ground is covered with snow. The story in the book was so funny that I couldn't put it down. Peter is in my school. He is such a kind boy that everybody likes him. My jeans shrunk so much that I couldn't put them on. Though it is very small, the museum is worth a visit. While my friend likes rap songs, I prefer rock music. The alarm woke me up, even though it wasn't very loud. Although some people think water is unimportant, it is necessary for our lives. I have few friends, so I'm quite lonely. Plants that need little water can live in a desert environment. Most spiders are seldom seen during the day. I can hardly believe what I am hearing. The rumor on the internet is far from the truth. I know none of the students in my class. I didn't read all of the episodes of the webtoon. There are 2 computers in my house, but neither works properly. This soup is too spicy. Is it? It is not spicy at all to me. You will not always be strong, but you can always be brave. Good things are not necessarily expensive. Attitude is equally as important as ability. In heavy traffic, cars are not as convenient as subways. In heavy traffic, cars are not so convenient as subways. Jim is very clever. He speaks English as naturally as Korean. Joanna prepared for the exam not as hard as I. Joanna prepared for the exam not so hard as I. My class has as many students as yours. These new shoes are not as comfortable as my old ones. These new shoes are not so comfortable as my old ones. Using this printer is as easy as drinking a cup of water. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. I find maths lessons more enjoyable than science lessons. Not trying is worse than failing. Prevention is better than cure. Sometimes silence can be more powerful than words. Mount Everest is the highest of the Himalayan mountains. Cheetahs run the fastest of all the land animals. I wish Jim was on my team. His team did the best presentation in our class. Canada is the coldest country I have ever visited. Nothing is as important as teamwork. Nothing is so important as teamwork. No other hobby is as interesting as cooking to me. Nobody can give you wiser advice than yourself. Chinese is spoken by more people than any other language. I will be there as soon as possible. The fresher the fruit is, the better it tastes. When I get nervous, my heart beats faster and faster. When you make a speech, speak as clearly as you can. The more you listen to English, the better you'll understand it. More and more people are recycling various waste materials. If I had a good memory, I wouldn't take notes. If my mum were not so tired, she could go to the movies with me. If the sun were the size of a beach ball, the earth might be the size of a pea. If you had told me the problem, I could have helped you solve it. If I had been the author of the novel, I could have written a happy ending. I wouldn't have gone to the library if I had known it was closed that day. Without the internet, what would our lives be like? Ask your grandma. She didn't have the internet when she was young. Paul saved our lives today. Without his timely warning, we would not have noticed the danger. If it had not been for the traffic, I would have been here an hour ago. The score would have been higher but for some excellent goaltending. Where's my eraser? It was on my desk a minute ago. You left it in your book. I feel like riding a bike. I think I would enjoy it. If you have the power to make someone happy, do it. I slipped on a snowy road today. It was so embarrassing. What time is it now? It's 10:30. It's too early for lunch yet. It rains a lot here in summer. How far is it from the starting line to the finish line? It's 200 meters. It is dark in the room. We need to turn on the light. Do you know what day it is today? It's Friday. It seems that many of my friends are worrying about what they will do in the future. It appears that some people think all the information on the internet is true. In Russia, it is illegal to drive a dirty car. It is likely that I'll see Peter next week. It is not certain whether we have classes next Friday. Praise makes it easier to get close to someone. The judges didn't see Peter mess up. I thought it was obvious that he made a big mistake. My father considers it important not to give up easily. Jim is not happy we are going hiking. I find it surprising that he doesn't want to go on a family trip. It was Sarah that was late for the movie. It is the t-shirt that I want to buy. It was on the sofa that I found my glasses. It is when we overcome difficulties that we grow. It was the movie which drew 10 million viewers. It was my teacher who encouraged me to follow my dreams. Not only was it hot today, but it was also humid. Never will I waste time watching television during the weekend. Little did I imagine that my plan would go wrong. Luke didn't make the team. Hardly did I think that he would fail. Not until today did I realize it was my fault. Under the table is the remote control. Out of the windows comes the delicious smell of fresh bread. There are 32 students in our class. I like to watch soccer games, and so does my brother. My grandmother is a good cook, and so is my mother. I haven't achieved my New Year's resolutions. Neither have I, but we'll do better next year. The sun shines in the daytime, and the moon at night. I wonder if Peter is still my friend. He said he would write to me, but he hasn't. Paul is mad at me. I intended to call him, but forgot to. I pretended to be fine, but I wasn't. I can't see you today, but I can tomorrow. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. A bird in a hand is worth 2 in a bush. You should look both ways when crossing the street. We ate snacks while having a chat. James partied all night. He was exhausted and fell asleep once he arrived home. Anne and John have a plan and want to tell everyone. He messaged and she phoned every team member. My sister loves books. She likes and enjoys science fiction. I learned the importance of being on time and not delaying things. I accepted, but Mark refused the invitation to her birthday party. Something is different about Nancy. She is busier, but more excited than usual. The vegetable juice was for the purpose of being healthy, but it was not tasty. Eat, Pray, Love, published in 2006, is a memoir by Elizabeth Gilbert. Paul is my friend. All of his family members I have met are friendly. Jim, who is sitting at the front of the class, is the most talkative person. My teacher spoke to the class today. The date of the midterm exam, she said, was changed to next week. Aunt Emily, my mother's younger sister, is a nurse. Mexico City, one of the biggest cities in the world, has many interesting sights. GPS, or the Global Positioning System, helps us find places. I hope you will achieve your dream of becoming a businessman. Hope is the belief that anything is possible. The fact that I could mess up our team's plan made me more careful.